Hey everybody, welcome to the dark stream. Voxday, voxday.blogspot.com, and as you can see from, also brought to you by Infogalactic News. If you haven't been on Infogalactic News, you really got to hop on there. We actually broke 3 stories today. Well, I shouldn't say we broke them, but we actually got to them before Drudge. So, what's up? There's a lot of stuff going on, and most of it has to do with Milo. I've actually been talking to him a bit tonight. Been talking to some other folks, talking with Cernovich. There's a lot going on. Yeah, they canceled Milo's book Dangerous, the number one bookseller on Amazon. And it it's funny. A lot of people have been asking that question. So, look, this is a continuation of what I talked about with PewDiePie. Okay, it doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter how popular you are. If you rely upon converged institutions, they will cut your legs out from under you. This is what, it didn't matter to Disney that PewDiePie had 57 million subscribers or 53 million subscribers, whatever it is. It didn't matter to Simon & Schuster that they had the number 1 selling author in the world. It didn't matter to ESPN that Curt Schilling was a Hall of Fame World Series winning pitcher. Did I coin the term converged? I did in this context. It's actually taken from a John Stuart Mill. You could say that John Stuart Mill coined it if you wanted to 150 years ago, but I'm the one who developed the concept of social justice convergence. I don't know who was responsible, and I don't know why, and frankly, I don't really care. That's Cernovich territory, and he certainly, he's dialed into those things. He pays attention to those things. I don't. I'm just I'm a little bit angry because of the fact that my friend was treated this way. I don't like that. Milo's a friend of mine. I completely support him, and the fact that he needed to come out and talk about things that happened to him when he was young, I think is pretty disgusting. Now, we're some of the. I was talking to one of Castellia's authors tonight, who wanted me to convey his good wishes to Milo, and this is a very conservative man. This is not a man that you would expect to reach out to a very outspoken homosexual. And like he pointed out, he said, "Look, my sins are worse than his. His sins might strike some as appalling, and yet, from the perspective of God, the sins of lust tend to be more of a failing. Sins of pride are actually much more offensive to God." And so, I don't condemn Milo for his weaknesses, because I've got my own, and and I know that Milo is as conscious of them as the next guy. And so, but to try to insinuate or to try to claim that he is a pedophile when he has done more to expose and attack pedophiles openly. I mean, the absolute absurdity of Salon jumping in to attack him when they have actually defended pedophilia on their own pages, in their own publication. Huffington Post has defended it. Salon has defended it. National Review actually defended Salon defending it. And so it's just, it's just absolutely appalling. And the idea that Simon and Schuster dropping Milo over this year-old video where he didn't really say anything to justify those actions, when the publishing industry published Lena Dunham literally describing her own sexual abuse of her 5-year-old sister, is totally absurd. And so we'll see what's going to happen. I mean, I don't think that Breitbart will end up dropping him simply out of self-preservation. If Breitbart drops Milo, they are going to see their traffic drop, fall in half. I know that on Infogalactic News, which we introduced today, which has been going great. I don't know if you've been there, but we have Breitbart listed right in the middle, number 2, under Castelia House. And if Breitbart drops Milo, we will absolutely remove Breitbart, and we will remove every other link that we have to Breitbart, and we will not link directly to them, but use archives instead. And so now they might do it, but I don't see. Here's the reason that I don't think Breitbart will do it, other than that, is that if they were as susceptible to the cucks and the conservatives, the light conservatives, the CPAC crowd, they would have kept Shapiro when he was trying to throw his weight around. Well, Instapundit's not on there because Glenn Reynolds is, but I'm a big fan of Instapundit. There's Instapundit is one of only, I think, 7 other sites that I link from my personal blog. I don't know exactly why they're attempting to destroy Milo right now. My personal suspicion is there's two primary reasons that I think initially. Number one, a lot of the conservatives blame him for Trump's success. They think that he is the leader of the alt-right, the Trumpian alt-right in their minds, and so they want to destroy him. How do you best support him? When his book comes out, buy his book. Regardless of who publishes it. Am I gay too? No. I'm married to Space Bunny, if you know who she is on Twitter. But the way that you can support him is tweet about him. Tweet your support. Whether it's an I stand with Milo, whether it's just this is bullshit, etc., etc. I don't know whether he keeps his advance. I'm actually, given that I'm an old Simon and Schuster author, I think that probably he would get to keep a small part of it, but not most of it. A number of you keep asking this question: will Milo publish at Castelia House now? We would absolutely love to publish it. We had already been talking to Simon and Schuster about publishing it in the UK, and so because the UK branch had said that they weren't going to do it, and so we'll see if Milo and Team Milo want us to publish it. We absolutely will, and we're going to but it's up to Milo, we're just willing to support him however we can. And so no, there is actually a Team Milo. I mean, there's a actual group. And so, no, Simon & Schuster no longer owns the rights. They canceled the book, and so the rights will have reverted to Milo. But, so the one possible explanation is because the bitterness of the cucks and the conservatives over Trump. The reason is that Milo is one of the few people in the media who is actually willing to criticize the pedophiles that may be involved with Pizzagate. He wanted to look more into Pizzagate. And so, so we don't know, that may have had something to do with it, because if you look at the people that were involved, the fact that David Brock was involved, he's directly connected to the guy who owns Comet Pizza. If you look at the fact that Jake Tapper was involved, he was really trying to denigrate the concept. He was basically saying that Pizzagate was fake news before it was even possible to say anything about it. You could have said, I don't believe it. You could have said, I find it far-fetched. But you couldn't say it was fake because nobody knew anything about it. And then there's also the possibility that part of the reason that Flynn was targeted was because of that. You have to kind of wonder if that might be involved. But again, this is not my area. I'm not the hands-on political guy. I don't live in the USA. I don't pay that much attention to the bureaucratic ins and outs. That's Cernovich's deal. And so, if he says that's what's going on, then there's a decent chance that that's what's going on. But the thing is that the thing that bothers me most about it is the lack of loyalty that I see, again, on the right. One of the things that, for me, there's absolutely no question that I was going to support Milo for the same way that I supported Roosh when the media was running around claiming that Roosh was a rapist. He's not. Now they're running around. They used to run around, saying that I was a racist. Then they ran around saying that Roosh is a rapist. Now they're running around trying to say that Milo is a pedophile. I'm sure they'll come up with something for Cernovich and Trump and everything else. You got to remember, they tried the whole pedophile thing on Trump too. They tried to push that angle a little bit during the campaign. It didn't work because the guy's busy running around with Playboy models. It's a little tough to convince anyone that he likes 5-year-olds. But here's the thing, if loyalty was easy, if people didn't have weaknesses and flaws and that sort of thing, then we'd all be loyal. But there comes a time when you have your friends, when you have your allies, it's important to stand by them, even when they make mistakes, even though they have flaws. It's fine to criticize. That's funny. Milo isn't all right, but that doesn't mean his usefulness is over. That's just absolutely ridiculous. But the thing is that criticize in private and stand by people in public. And we're not even living in particularly difficult times yet. The difficult times are still coming. And it doesn't even matter whether Trump wins or the deep state wins or whatever. The waves of history are much, much bigger than individual people and their petty little goals and ambitions. And so, to these guys who like to think that they're the masters of history and they control everything and all this sort of thing, they're going to learn the hard way. I mean, the same way that PewDiePie found out that it didn't matter how big he was on YouTube, how many subscribers he had. The same way that Milo found out that it didn't matter that he was the best-selling author in the world when his publisher got, in the same way, the masters of the universe who run the governments and so forth are going to find out that they're not in charge either. Because at the end of the day, whether you believe in God, or whether you believe in history, or whether you just believe in the mindless cycles of time, the one thing that we know is that everybody dies and every empire falls. And so, some of us look to philosophy for consolation. Some of us look to God. Some of us just live in denial and drink. But it doesn't matter. And so, I mean, there's a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas. I mean, would the same thing have happened if Milo had spoken out more? I don't know. None of us can know. But what we can say is that we can hold to the truth, and that we can hold to our friends and our family and stand by them. And so, I trust my readers. I trust my friends and my allies, and I trust God. And that's it. And so, but with regards to, with what's happened to Milo and what happened to PewDiePie is going to happen to others. But that doesn't mean that they're going to destroy them. Yes, I mean, obviously Periscope is thoroughly cucked. I'm getting new internet tomorrow. I'll have much faster internet tomorrow, and I'll be on Gab TV a lot more than I'll be on Periscope, I think. We'll see how it goes. I'm certainly not a fan of Twitter. And so, the thing is that events very, very seldom go the way that anybody thinks. And, Twitter and all the SJWs are doing what they always do and doubling down. That's the name of the book I'm working on right now. SJWs always double down. And so, Milo's going to be okay. Milo is he's, I'm sure, a little bit shocked right now because, he's always been able to sort of charm and charm and gay and, I'm a gay Jew and this and that and the other thing. And he's always been able to just sort of deflect and evade. But, this is the first time that he's ever been really punched in the face the way that people like me and Cernovich and Roosh have been punched in the face. We just kind of expect it. So, so the thing is that, let's see, if I go 15 for the burning it, do I get a t-shirt? Yes, if you subscribe to the Burn Unit, then you have the right to buy a Burn Unit shirt, and we'll get you the code and all that sort of thing. And so, but that's the thing. What makes you tough is not your ability to deal out punishment. It's your ability to get knocked down and get up again. That's what toughness is. And Milo is tough. He's a smart guy. He's a charming guy, but he is stronger too. He got kicked off of Twitter. Didn't hurt him. I mean, think about it. Let's say, for the sake of argument, just let's say that Castalia House does get the chance to publish Dangerous. Okay. Now, how much bigger is Milo if he goes #1 with a large publisher like Simon & Schuster? It's a big deal, but it's not that big a deal because he went big with the publisher. People will say, well, yes, he's popular, obviously he's very popular, but this is the 95th #1 bestseller that Simon & Schuster's published. It's a big deal, right? Well, what if he does it with a small publisher, right? Then suddenly, kaboom, everyone understands that the guy is absolutely massive. And so, even something as difficult as even a gut punch, like having your $250,000 book cut, canceled, doesn't mean that you're going to be worse off. You could well come out of it much better off. And frankly, I don't think that any of those sales of Dangerous had anything to do with Simon & Schuster. Nothing. And so I personally think that, I think he's going to be fine regardless of what direction he chooses to go. Obviously, I'd very much like him to come and join us at Castalia House. We've already published him before. He wrote the he wrote the introduction to SJWs. If it's published by Castalia, can distribution be blocked? No, because I've already talked to our distributor, and they are fully 100% behind us. In fact, I got a very late night email from the head of the department saying, hey, you have to go, you have to get this. So, we will have his back, and so will the people that we work with. And so, and even on the ebooks, even let's take the worst possible situation, and let's say Amazon refuses to carry it. Now, I very much doubt that would happen, but we have our own little e-store. It's perfectly capable of, 10 million people want to buy it there. It's digital. We can handle it. And so, the whole thing is going to work out regardless of where Milo goes, whether Castalia publishes it or whether he goes some other direction. I think that Milo is going to come out of it bigger than before and more successful than before. And so, there's no way, there's no reason to back down. There's no reason to be upset. Milo's ego is just fine. These are good lessons. These kind of things, if they don't break you, they make you stronger and they make you a better person. And Amazon will, all those canceled books, Amazon will be refunding them. I'm not going to get into critiquing Milo's response. I don't think, I don't think that it was necessarily that he was really prepared for it. But nobody is. I know that I was surprised when I was kicked out of or when they went through the whole charade of pretending to kick me out of the Science Fiction Writers Association. Did that harm me? Not in the slightest. That's like one of the best things that ever happened to me, because it motivated me to get off my ass and found Castalia House, with the other guys. And so, what this is going to do is some of the weak sisters are going to fall away. The people who never really supported Milo in the first place are going to fall away. The rest of his supporters are going to be stronger and more determined than before. And here's the good news, actually. Mike says that this was the result of a $250,000 opposition research. And the thing is, that's the best they had. I used to joke about, when they were talking about Milo for press secretary, I used to joke about the fact that whoever had to vet him. I'm going to nuke this person here. They're kind of annoying. I used to joke that the poor guy responsible for vetting Milo was going to need therapy for years afterwards. And so, and the best they came up with was an interview on Joe Rogan. I mean, that was public. That was they'd been out in public for over a year. And so, it's kind of surprising that, there might be more, obviously, but it's kind of surprising that Milo came out of it that clean. That's not true that everyone disavowed Spencer. I didn't disavow Spencer. I actually called him up and talked to him. So, and also the nature of, a lot of the criticism that Spencer was getting was directed at his media choices, not anything else, not him personally. And so, I think that the important thing is to just remember that, stand by your friends and stand by your allies. Don't disavow people. Roosh and I used to get asked to disavow each other about every other week. you know. And the funny thing is, half the time I had no idea what they were talking about. I didn't know what Roosh was supposed to have done. I didn't know why they were after him or anything. You know, we just basically publicly swore that we were blood brothers, and then everyone just kind of went away. Yeah, and I do think that Milo will do a press conference fairly soon. You know, hopefully he'll have some interesting stuff to announce. You know, it'd be awfully fun if he was able to announce that we were publishing his book. But yeah, we'll wait and see. But you know, the thing that's important is you know, I really appreciate the way that my VFM and the Dread Ilk stood by me when I was being attacked by all the SJWs in science fiction. And part of why I'm so confident and relaxed now is because I know that I have these people with me, and I have these people behind me, you know. And I think that you know, Milo is going to come out of this stronger, not just personally, but he's also going to come out of it stronger because he's going to have confidence that, you know what, people do have my back. You know, I'm not alone. You know, I'm not abandoned. And you know, Milo has way more fans than I do. And so, if they are even half as loyal as my supporters, then you know, he's very lucky. So I'll probably have to wrap it up here in a couple minutes. So let's talk just a little bit about Infogalactic News. We launched that today. It went extremely well. We actually managed to beat Drudge to the news about McMaster. We also got the news about Simon and Schuster out fast, and so you know, our goal is to keep improving. You know, we're going to, you know, this was just the first day, and so we're going to keep working on it. We're going to keep improving it. There have been some, you know, some bumps and bruises, but it's working, and it's working well. The other thing we're very excited about is that we just added a new, very fast sort of caching to Infogalactic proper. And so if you notice, if you go to infogalactic.com, you'll notice that there are a lot of, it's faster now. And so it's really, it's really going to grow. And, you know, is it going to become the new Drudge? It would be great if it you know, was half of that. But, you know, we'll see. I mean, all we can do is just work on it. If you want to support it, you know, please join the Burn Unit. Just a, you know, monthly subscription of $10 or whatever is fantastic. We're hoping to build up to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Right now, I think we're at 268. So, you know, we really appreciate the support, and as you can see, you know, we're doing a lot with it. You know, we've got probably over 30 volunteers who are working on it hard, and you know, we're really maximizing every resource that we have. And there's going to be new stuff coming all the time. I mean, just today we launched Infogalactic News and we added the caching. Forkbot's coming, Rehash is coming. There's all kinds of stuff, and we're still, you know, over the course of the year, we're going to be completely replacing the MediaWiki engine, which is going to have huge effects that with ramifications well beyond what we're doing, because there's literally thousands of organizations that use MediaWiki that will end up using our Don't Panic engine instead, because it's going to be vastly better. And so, and you know, this is stuff that could not possibly have happened without the Dread Ilk and the VFM and the original Galaxians making it possible for it to happen. You know, I'm just one guy. I'm not even the most important guy on pretty much any of these projects anymore. You know, it's like game development. You know, yeah, the designer is important, But once he communicates his vision to the developers, and the developers understand that the designers are relevant. I mean, they're doing things with Infogalactic now. They're doing things that I not only don't even know about, they're doing things I don't even understand. And so it's fantastic. That's exactly the situation you want to be in, where you've got smarter people doing better things than you ever even imagined. So anyhow, so that's it for today. But please visit Infogalactic News when you get a chance. Join the Burn Unit if you're amenable. But most of all, please offer your support to Milo. Please offer your support to Milo, and make sure that he understands that he is not alone and that you got his back. So have a good evening, and we'll talk to you soon.